Hi guys, welcome back to Tracy Sokol Learnings. Today I want to talk about how I manage my chickens and the chicken coop in the winter months to make sure that my chickens are healthy, getting lots of exercise, fresh air, sunshine, and getting out of the coop. Now, even though we have a lot of snow here in British Columbia right now, there's still ways that you can do things to provide what the chickens need for the winter months. So this is my second flock now. The other flock that I had were a different breed. They were the Black Rock and they had the shorter combs. So two of the most important things to be mindful of when it comes to chickens in the winter months is frostbite. You don't want their feet to get frostbite and you don't want their comb to get frostbite. So with the flock that I have now, they have the larger combs and they're not very fond of the snow, we'll say. My other chickens would just come out. They didn't care. These ones require a little bit more work, but it's well worth it. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I do for them in the winter months, and here we go. So the first thing I do is I lay down pallets before the snow comes, so I can just flip them over and the birds can have somewhere to do their foraging. It's really important, again, to keep them off the snow. So with this flock, not wanting to come out of the chicken coop, I put down sawdust. Well, first I put down straw. And they wouldn't come out for the straw. They didn't care. Once I put down the sawdust, they started coming out of the chicken coop. So it must be like a denser, warmer feeling on their feet or whatever. So it took a couple days to get them out of the coop. And then once I did, I started working on getting them out to free range. Now, they have busted out of the coop a couple times, like out of the enclosure, but they really had nowhere to go. So on that note, I'm going to show you what I've done. And I'm going to go over a few things, challenges that I have here in British Columbia. So before the frost and before the snow comes, we get an abundance of rain. And the ground is so saturated that the water is literally on top of the surface of the ground. So we get what's called frost heaves. So that means when the ground starts to freeze, it lifts the ground, right? Because the water's expanding. So some of the things I have to do here in the winter months is I have to use a big old pick and I have to break up the ground just to get the gates open. So here's one of the areas I had to break up to get access to the coop. So right now, even though it's freezing cold and it's winter, I'm still getting between 2 and 4 eggs a day. Yesterday was the first time I got 5 eggs. So what I do in the coop is I put down a lot of straw on the ground so that their feet stay warm. They have the dust baths underneath the coop, and then they have the secondary mobile dust bath that I use in case they go out foraging and I take it to them. In the coop, hello ladies. In the coop I put down an abundance of straw so it keeps it nice and warm. The only thing I use the heat light for, oh watch out, is the water so it doesn't freeze. I don't use any supplemental lighting or heating for them. I simply turn on the light so they know to come in at night, and that's about it. And now, come on chickabirds. Now I'm going to take them out so that they can free range. And what I've done is I've cut out a path, put down some straw and some sawdust to get them to the gate. And then once they're at the gate and I open it, they don't care what they got to walk across just so they can get out. So here we go, ladies. Come on, chickabird. So I only have the 5 chickens now, which is a lot easier than the dozen that I had previously. Come on, girls. Chickabirds. So I cut this path for them to walk on. And then once I get down this area, we have I know it looks like a total gong show. We didn't put our hose away before the snow came because honestly, we thought that we were going to cut the grass because everything was kind of coming back to life. But we have the rooftop tent here that provides some cover from the snow, and then I clear an area so that they can come out and free range. I just let them go throughout the day. They do their thing. They go back to the coop to lay their eggs. And it just makes for a much healthier chicken. So they like to be here under the camper. Yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday, I came out and I found them in one of my garden beds. And you guys, all my daffodils that were ready to bloom, can you guys see that? Like it was ready to actually bloom. They've just devastated them. They got in here and they rock and rolled, absolutely wiping out any chance of me getting my early bloom of daffodils. But that's okay. They need that, right? They need the fresh air. They need the exercise. And that way they can get out to the sunshine and get some vitamin D and all that neat stuff. Now, some of the food supplements that I change in the winter months, I want to go over with you guys. Excuse me. So things I add to their food in the winter specifically to create more heat in their body and to warm them up. Chickens do not have the receptors to feel heat. However, I do put chili flakes in their food, and when I make them their warm breakfast in the morning, I do like pasta and corn and usually dandelion leaf, dandelion root powder. I put in stinging nettle, Swiss chard, whatever I had excess of from last year's garden. I mix that into their food so they have a warm breakfast every morning. And I do add an abundance of chili powder and chili flakes to their food. It speeds up their metabolism and it helps keep them warm. Between the chili powder and the corn, they stay nice and warm, and I don't have to worry about any freezing chickens. The other thing that you always want to be mindful of all year round is to make sure that your chickens have oyster shells. They need that to have enough calcium to produce their eggs and proper shells, nice hard shells. And that's really about it. I mean, if you guys are chicken keepers already, and you know any extra tips and tricks that I have forgotten, please put them in the comment section below. And if you're new at chicken keeping, remember that everything is possible as long as you maintain your birds, give them these extra little things, do these extra little things to keep them happy in the winter months. You should be getting a great egg production. I thank you so much for coming by my channel today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.